What is good, guys? It is your boy Archery, back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going over BJL Season 5 Week 2 match against Robsquad, which is probably, I would say, the best team in the league, based on just on value and power and strategy as well. So prepping for this team was not easy, let me tell you. Quick shout out to Rob really quick. Such a nice guy. He actually was streaming our battle, and I looked and I saw the notification because I follow him on Twitch, and he was streaming it, and I'm like, wow. So when I popped in, I just said good luck, and I exited out because I didn't want to snipe him. But the whole league was watching his stream, so they were seeing his perspective. And he said at the beginning that it was frustrating to build for my team. So I actually take that as a compliment that I drafted well. I don't know if that's just him being a nice guy or what. So anyway, let's just get right into this. Yeah, prepping for his team was not easy. So I actually made 2 acquisitions to the team, or transactions, I should say. I picked up, well, first off, I gotta say this. I traded Mamoswine to Luke for Togekiss. I was shopping Mamoswine because I saw Piloswine was still available, and I think that they pretty much do the same thing for me. I drafted Mamoswine for priority and rocks, and they get the same moves. They're literally the same Pokemon, except Mamoswine has like better stats and a better speed stat and everything. So I was willing to give up speed stat for bulk with the Eviolite. So yeah, I made the transaction. I dropped Mamoswine, or I should say traded Mamoswine to Luke for Togekiss, and picked up Mamoswine or Piloswine and dropped Gastrodon. And I was shopping Gastrodon originally because I prefer Lapras on this team over Gastrodon, and I know it's another ground type, like I said in my team recap, but I feel like Lapras is fine enough for a water absorb mon, and it was just taking up space in my team, so I figured I could add another element to my offense or defensive schemes with Togekiss, and then get rid of Mamoswine and pick up Piloswine. So that's what I did. Let's just quickly go over the team recap. I started off with Piloswine because Mamoswine is very, very good against this team. Here, I'll show you his team real quick. So this is his team. And I did the stab, super effective, and I did the base speeds, which I started doing this week on the right. So my team's on the left, his is on the right. He's got Excadrill, Hippowdon, which is extremely strong for Sand. He's got Braviary, which is Defiant, which means I can't really use Scrafty for Intimidate. He's got Cofagrigus, which is a good switch into Rapid Spin, which I actually don't have on this team, but it's a good Rapid Spin switch in. Bulky with Haze. He's got Appleton, which is just, I think he just drafted it for the Grass and Dragon Sap. Duosion, which is there. It's just there. Gyarados and Arcanine, very, very good Intimidate core. He's got the Fire, Grass, Water thing kicking there. And they're both very, very strong offensively, and they both could be defensive Phalanx because it's busted for the value that it has. And Crustle, which is rocks, it could be Shell Smash, you know. Either way, his team's looking pretty solid against mine, I'll tell you, man. It's not quite as fast. I feel like his team is just barely slower than mine in terms of base speeds, but that's okay. Sorry, I got a little bit of a sore throat, so if I stutter in between that, yeah, sorry. So let's just get right into this. Quick team recap. I got Piloswine here because Mamoswine destroyed him, and I saw that. And I shot Mamoswine before I had the match, just in case I wanted to bring Togekiss or whatever I got for him. Togekiss was the best offer, so anyway, it's pretty standard. Stealth Rock, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Freeze Dry, so I can hit Gyarados for a lot of damage. It 2 KOs it, even with Impish. And I EV'd it so that Earthquake 100% kills Excadrill 100% of the time. If he doesn't have more than 12 HP EVs, it kills him 100% of the time. Earthquake. So, yeah, pretty standard. Okay. Next, we got my man Chinese New Year making his Season 2 debut. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I've drafted Driftblim. Look at that set. It defogs the rocks away, or spikes, or whatever he wants to go for. I got the Will-O-Wisp Hex set, which you could see on Dragapult, I actually had Dragapult on here originally, but I wanted to have a little bit of defense for that Excadrill in case the sand came up. And at Adamant Life Orb, Iron Head 3-hit KOs as Driftblim, so I can Strength Sap it, and then after that, it 5-hit KOs as Driftblim. Even after sand. And I'm not running leftovers, I'm running heavy duty boots just because I feel like switching in on rocks and defogging them away, it just saves me that extra damage. So yeah, this is pretty much the set. It was my physical wall because his team has so many physical mons. Besides from Cofagrigus, Appleton, and Duosion, everything on his team is physically offensive, which is extremely useful for me to realize. So Chinese New Year coming in clutch. Just very, very solid for his checks. I'm bringing Rotom Heat, Sub Nasty Plot. Just a thing to switch in on his Excadrill. And if he's Jolly, I'm pretty sure if he's Max Speed Jolly outside of, or maybe it's Max Speed Adamant. Either or, I am EV to outspeed it outside of sand because I'll never outspeed it inside of sand. So if I get a Nasty Plot up and he switches in thinking I'm bulky or something, or if I get a sub up, I'm already immune to his Earthquake. And even if he's Mold Breaker, he breaks my sub and I overheat and kill it 100% of the time. And it's just a fast option. I'm not running Volt Switch this week just because he has ground types, and I don't want to get caught against Mold Breaker, Excadrill, and then have to force myself into something else. So, yep, pretty solid there. I'm bringing 4 attacks, Expert Bell, Lapras. Max Special Attack, Modest. I feel like this hits everything for either super effective or neutral damage, and everything does over 50% to every single one of his mons. So very, very solid here. Water Absorb so I can switch into Gyarados because I didn't really have any other switch in. And then I'm running physically defensive, well, a little bit of HP and then a lot of defense. So I can survive things like +1 Gyarados Earthquake. That was a thing that I was really, really preparing for. I was preparing to switch into Arcanine, preparing to switch into Excadrill, because Surf 100% kills Excadrill in sand, and then Ice Beam 100% kills Hippowdon outside of sand as well. So, that's a thing. Next we got Wish Passing Xatu, my boy Exit Sign. I didn't run Protect on this, and it really comes to bite me, spoiler alert, in the butt a little bit. So I wish I ran Protect on this. Wish Protect would have been so great. But yeah, it's just physically defensive, so it checks. It doesn't really check it, but I can switch into Hippowdon and Excadrill with this. I was very, very scared of sand, if you couldn't tell. So last we have my boy, the MVP of the team mascot, Reuniclus. You already know. I'm running dual setup, recover stored power. Now, in hindsight, this could have done so much work. This was planned to just sweep his team, because if you look at his team, other than Crustle, nothing, and I mean nothing, besides Cofagrigus, like max special attack Cofagrigus, or Duosion with Shadow Ball or something like that, damages this at +6 defense. Nothing. And even if I get 3 Calm Minds up, it's over. Stored Power Okos his entire team if I get +6 defense and 6 boosts from Calm Minds. So 3 special attack, 3 special defense. And I have Recover on there also. So he can't touch me. I have Recover. I have Magic Guard, so he can't Toxic. I don't get damaged by hazards. And I have Leftovers. This thing was designed to just win the game. So yeah, that's pretty much the team. And that being said, let's just get right into the replay. All right, guys, back with the replay. So looking at his team, he brought everything I thought he would bring. He didn't bring Hippowdon, but instead he brought Arcanine or Gyarados. I thought he was going to bring one of them for just some Intimidate support, but he ended up bringing both. And I thought he'd bring everything else on his team. I would think that he would bring Hippowdon for the sand, but he didn't actually bring sand. So, I mean, that's okay. I thought that it would be easier for me. Okay, so, like, looking at this, I knew he was Mold Breaker X Excadrill. And I was like, he has to be choiced. Either it's banded, like max speed banded, or he's got to be scarfed. And I'm like, there's no way he's not, because he's Mold Breaker, he's got to outspeed Rotom somehow. And he could have brought it for Dragapult, right? So looking at this matchup, I was like, wow, okay. So I was totally prepping for Hippowdon, because his team is so offensive this game. Just look at it, like, he has like no bulk on this team unless he's like Spadef Arcanine. So yeah, he's got like no bulk, and I am like mostly bulk. So it's just his team is full of wall breakers, and my team is full of walls this game. So let's just start this game. Ended up being, I actually think this could be game of the year right here. So I lead off with Piloswine. He leaves off with Braviary. He U-turns, and I immediately, the thing that I think the most, I think he's Scarf, right? So I get out my rocks, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's choice Braviary, which is fine. So then I switch into Rotom thinking he's going to go for Flare Blitz, and he crits me with Close Combat. So that's just a start about how this game is going. I'm not complaining because I'm still in this, obviously. So I go into Drifblim thinking that he's just going to go for it again, because he's got no reason not to. And even if he's max speed, he outspeeds me. So I make the safe switch. And then I go for Will-O-Wisp. And I'm looking so good right now, because I think this thing is choice, right? Goes for Defog. And then I realize he's heavy duty boots. He's not choice. Which leads me to believe that he's bulky. And I'm like, okay, so if he's bulky, that's fine, because I outspeed with Rotom, and I 2 a KO, and he can't touch me. So he switches into Arcanine, and I Strength Sap it, because I know he's physically offensive. Wild Charge is doing nothing. So I'm just sitting here thinking, wow, this Drifblim is going to put in so much work. I mean, this is what I designed it to do, right? Goes into Braviary. I just hit. I go for Willow, thinking he's going to switch into something else, and I realize I can just Strength Sap again. He's just going to keep U-turning. Goes right back on to Arcanine. I'm in a very commanding position right now, because he can't do anything. Just keeps going for Wild Charge. And I was thinking to myself here, if I get him down to -3 attack, right, I can just go Reuniclus and win the game. So I pull the trigger a little bit too early, which is okay. As you can see, that Wild Charge did nothing, and he's taking recoil. So I mean, that's fine. He goes straight into Crustle. Smart play on his part. Go for Iron Defense here. I predict him to go for Shell Smash, and he's probably gonna be. I thought he was gonna be Sash, but he's actually White Herb, which is okay, I guess. So I just go for it again, right? Because I'm physically defensive +4. He goes for X Scissor. I'm like, wow, that's doing absolutely nothing. So I go for Iron Defense again. I am +6 defense. He crits me. Yeah. As you can see by the chat, everybody's like, oh my god. Everybody's like, yikes. So I thought he was going to... I didn't know what he was going to do. I just went Piloswine because it was one of my only answers to this thing. I get the crit there, which is fortunate, but it doesn't even make up for my Reuniclus going down, because it just won me the game right there. So, I had Freeze Dry for this Gyarados, but he ends up going for DD, right play. I wanted to keep it so I can possibly get up my rocks, but he goes for Power Whip thinking it'll kill. But I am physically defensive, so I do live that, and I Freeze Dry and kill the Gyarados, which Gyarados actually put in a lot of work versus my team now that I look back at it. And I think he even said on his stream that it was going to be his win con, so I was very fortunate with that. So he goes for Rock Slide. And right here, if he flinches me, I lose the game. It's only like a 20% chance if I'm not mistaken. So I go for the Strength Sap. He's -1 now, and I get almost back to full. So I'm in a very, very commanding position once again, without Reuniclus in the back. full HP Drifblim, -2, about to be -3 Excadrill, except I go for Will-O-Wisp, so technically he's -4 if you really think about it. So yeah, I'm in a very, 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 very good position right here. I just go for Hex just to get some damage off. And really, he's got nothing that he can bring in on this that won't get strength sapped, because he's physically offensive from the get-go, right? Like, all of his mons are physically offensive. So this mon puts in so much work. So I just strength sap again, get some of that HP back. I'm healing damn near 50% from -3 Excadrill. I'm taking his attack stat and adding it to my HP. This is ridiculous. And I'm max HP too, that's crazy. So I'm back to full, and he rock slides again. And I realize now he's probably choiced. There's no point in bringing this thing back in again since he's burned. So he's probably just going to sack it. So he rock slides again, and I just hex and get it over with, right? Here, I think this is the point in the game where I lose. I make a huge mistake here, right? I go for strength sap, thinking I need to get this HP back, right? He's defiant. So he pretty much got a Swords Dance plus the other boosts, which is super unfortunate for me because now he just outspeeds my entire team. He had Lumberry. If I would have Willowed 2 times, then I would be fine. But he ends up missing the Rock Slide, which is very, very fortunate. If he didn't miss that Rock Slide, I would have lost. So he kills me here because he's at neutral attack, if you think about it. I'm doing the replay slow because I have a lot to say. And I'm like, what do I bring in on this? So I do the calc, and Rock Slide doesn't 2-hit KO me, so Psychic 100% 2-hit KOs this thing. And I'm considering going for Wish here. Wish Protect would be absolutely huge here. I would be at full with Xatu instead of 30% whenever he brings in anything else. And Xatu 1v1's Arcanine 100% because I'm physically defensive, and even if he's banded, it only does 70%, and I can just keep Wish Passing enough to the point where I can come in with Rotom and outspeed it and Thunderbolt kill it, right? So let me pause right here because I took a huge pause. Let me go to the last turn, right? So right here, I'm thinking to myself, if I had Wish Protect, I could probably try and stall him out of maybe 30-40% of health here with Recoil, because I know he's choiced, right? I'm thinking he's Scarf because it's not doing too much damage, and I'm pretty sure a crit close combat would have killed my Rotom if he was banded, adamant, or something like that. So I'm thinking to myself here, I'm like, wow, okay. If I Wish Protect here, I would beat this Arcanine 100%. So I'm very, very, very upset with myself here because now I have like a 30% Rotom, a 2% Piloswine, a 2% Lapras, and a 30% Xatu when I could have had a 100% Xatu, and I could have stalled this thing out of Recoil, or maybe even PP. So, this is where I try and make the play here. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I made the calc. Rotom's Thunderbolt here, I'm max attack or max special attack timid. It did about 44 to 53. That's the roll there. And I thought to myself, if I can get him in that range with the recoil, I could potentially come in and kill his Braviary because it kills Braviary 100% of the time after rocks, and he already had some chip and he was burned. So I thought to myself, okay, let me try and get some recoil on this thing, right? Sack off Lapras, get a little bit of recoil. Come in with Piloswine, Ice Shard, and he gets a little bit of recoil. That puts me in the roll position to kill this thing. It's literally a 50-50 roll here, just about. He Flare Blitzes, I live, it drops him below the roll, and I kill 100% of the time. So then I knew he was Scarf Arcanine. I'm thinking to myself, wow, let's go, man. I totally outplayed him, and I won. And he's specially defensive Braviary. So, as you can see, we were just talking a little bit here. Everybody was like, wow, really close. Yeah. So, I take an L week 2, but I'm happy with how I played for the most part, except for the failings thing. I don't really know what else I could have done that game to win besides, I mean, okay, Wish Protect Zatu could have possibly won me the game, but we don't know for sure because he could have crit me with Flare Blitz or something like that, and it could have been over from there. So, overall, very, very, very good game. I had tons of fun playing it. I almost beat his hyper offense with a bunch of walls. I tried. He's such a nice guy. I went back to his stream. We were talking for a good maybe 20 minutes just about the game, and he went over his team. He had specially defensive Braviary just to get rid of rocks and everything. Slow U-turn, which is, well, slowish U-turn, which is very smart on his part. All I gotta say is, like, GG. I know the crit on Relinquist is unfortunate, but I could have made the play into Drift Limb and then just strength sapped it from there because I would have lived. I could have lived Rock Slide from Crustle and then strength sapped. So, or I could have gone. I don't know. I could have gone Piloswine to begin with when he X scissored and try and 1v1'd it from there, and then after that I could have just gone Rotom maybe. I don't know. I think I played okay except for the phalanx play. The crit was unfortunate, but I still had a chance in this game, as you saw. So, big thanks to Rob for the game. Big thanks to him for being a good sport about it. Yeah, he messaged me and he said, "See you in playoffs, dude." I'm like, "Oh, dude." He's such a nice guy. If you guys want to check out his Twitch, I will leave his Twitch in the description. Please do me a favor and go check out his Twitch streams. He's such a nice guy. He's funny. He's really, really good at battling, as you can see. So, thanks guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and it's been Archer, guys. Peace out.